Welcome to class 3 of this beginner's belly dancing course with me, Lindsey Marie Silver, here at Sahara Studio in Scotland. In this class, we're going to build on the previous classes that you've enjoyed. And this time, we're going to start to enter into the very exciting and slightly complex world of layering movements in belly dance. And layering within belly dance is a theme that you're going to see more and more as you continue your journey. I think it's really, really important to get in with the layering right from the beginning so that you can ease yourself in gradually with that. It doesn't feel like a foreign concept when suddenly you're met with it later on. So let's begin now with that layering. So what we're going to be doing is looking at 2 movements, each with 2 combinations of movement. So they're compound movements, they're very dynamic and multi-dimensional. Ooh, exciting. Let's dive in. So let's start off in our basic stance. So we're going to come about hip width apart, that's your inner hip. Spread out through your toes, relax your feet. Sweep relaxation through legs, bend your knees, tuck your hips, lift through your rib cage, shoulders round and down. Chin into alignment, alignment throughout the full length of spine. Now breathe, enjoy that wonderful breathing technique that we covered previously and continue to breathe in that manner throughout this session. We are going to be doing some complex movements in this class, and so it's easy to forget about your breath. So if you notice the breath is going, just come back to there and come back to that basic stance. Okay, so the first movement that we're going to look at is called a chest circle. All right, and in your chest circle, we're going to use 2 movement patterns. One we did previously, and that is your slide. So you're going to slide the rib cage directly one side and then the other. Your hips stay stationary. They're anchored in its center. So you're going to slide the shoulders across. So this movement pattern here comes from the low section of rib cage. It's making the biggest movement pattern. If you're not sure about chest slides, you can return to previous class in this course on the playlist, and that will really help you in here. So we got this movement pattern, and the second movement pattern we're using in this chest rotation movement, this chest circle, is, I like to call it a pop and a drop. So we're going to lift through the rib cage. Lower section of rib cage makes this diagonal motion upwards and back down. It slides up on diagonal and back down. You could imagine a ribbon attached to either side of your low section of rib cage, and you're going to lift up, and then you're going to pull on that ribbon to bring the rib cage back down. Let's try that again. So we're in our basic stance, knees are bent, we're going to lift up and lower to drop down. It's smooth, we're not accenting either the lift or the drop in this particular movement the way we're using it, but you could do in another movement. In fact, this is a movement in its own right in belly dance, so you're kind of learning an extra movement here. So we're lifting and lowering. Now let me, before we move on from this, assuming that you've got that down, here's something that might be happening to you as you practice this. As you lift up, your hips might want to come with it. And you end up with this hyperextension, this curving through your spine, crunching the muscles of your back, and owie! You don't want to do that too much because that's going to hurt in the coming days. So you want to make sure that your hips are neutral, that you've got bend through your knees, and you've anchored using those anchoring muscles for your low half so that you can move here in the rib cage with the hips nice and still and steady. Okay. So then what we're going to do, I want you to imagine a diamond formation. So if you imagine that we've got 4 points of a diamond, the top, you've got out to the side, you've got the bottom, and you've got out to the other side. So we're going to mark out this diamond formation with the low section of rib cage. Okay? So to do that, that's going to involve raising the rib cage up, sliding to the side, lowering the rib cage down, and sliding to the other side. Let me first of all turn towards the mirror so you can use my reflection and my back so that you can see what this looks like from different angles. I'm also going to just gently lift this up here so you can see what's happening in at my rib cage. Okay, so you can maybe place your hands out in front, just gently out in front of you in this position like so. So the first movement that we're going to make is a lift of the rib cage. We're going to lift up in the low section. Let's slide to the side, marking out the edge of that diamond shape. Then we're going to pull back and mark out that lower section. Then take it to the other side. So we're coming out and into alignment. Then if we bring it back to the front, that's us completed one full diamond shape all the way around. Let's try that again. So we're going to lift, slide, lower, slide, lift, slide, and lower, slide. Good. Lift, slide, lower, slide. Lift, slide, lower, slide. Now, Lindsey, didn't you say it was actually a chest circle, not a chest diamond? Yes. So you could actually utilize the chest diamond, and actually you'll see this danced a fair bit in belly dance, particularly in maybe tribal and global styles, more modern fusion styles is what we're referring to there. But you will also see it in traditional belly dancing, folklore movement, and classical cabaret. So we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4. What we want to do now is turn this movement into a circle. And to do that, as we had imagined a diamond formation, I want you just to gently use your muscles to guide your rib cage all the way out and round. So rather than marking out those individual points, you're going to gently extend the rib cage, the low section of rib cage, extend it all the way around. Now, if I could give you another visual, sometimes people find this to be helpful. Imagine that this up here, if you can see this, is your rib cage. So the movement is coming out in the low section of rib cage like this, all the way around. It's not coming round like this. It comes all the way around like this. You may or may not find that useful. We all learn so differently, and it's wonderful to use different illustrations to help. So we're going to push out on the edges with our muscles. So if I face again towards this way, you can use my reflection in the mirror, and you can look towards my back as well. So we're here. So this time we're going to lift up. And from here, you're going to gently bring the rib cage all the way around in the low section, bring it all the way back, bring it out to the side, and all the way forwards. Now, making sure you've still got that bend through your knees, your hips are in neutral, and that is allowing you to be able to produce that movement so that it looks as though that movement is happening all by itself. It looks to be in isolation. Although we know we're using all the muscles of the body to produce that movement. They're all working together, these pairs of muscles, all the way up through your kinetic chain. All the way around. All the way around. Let me show you what this looks like from the side. All the way around. You can place your hands out in front, or if you think it helps you could place your hands just flat on the front of your hips. Some people find that that helps for really making that movement bigger and just guiding yourself into it until you get used to that flow of movement. How does it feel? Notice when you feel the desire to breathe in that movement. And from the front, it looks like this. It feels really good. It feels so delicious. It's quite good for your digestion. It's good for your nervous system, and it's good for your spine. If you do have a sensitivity in your spine or a back injury, just take this one really very easy. Feel into it. Start really small, tiny movement. And if you feel that feels good, you can make it a little bit bigger from there. Just go easy on yourself until you know where you're at with that movement. It can take a long time to build up to big, round movement. Should we try going the other direction? Let's just try. Just try. See how you go. See how you do. So, I'm going to face this way. So we're going to raise up. Let's do the diamond formation first. Raise up to the side, pull back to the side. Lift up to the side, pull back to the side. And then we're going to come all the way round. All the way round. Use the low section of rib cage. And from this side, raise up, bring it round. Now, as you raise up, you're using the muscles in between your shoulder blades and a little bit of erector spinae in your back to raise up. And as you come back down, what you're using is your upper abs, upper abdominals. So when you use your abs, you release the back. And then when you use the back, you release your abs. And as you produce that movement there, I want you just to take a moment to notice, are your hips steady, centered, or are you coming out in this wibble wobble motion? You don't want to do that, not in this movement right now. We want to keep the hips steady and take it from there. All right, wow, well done. Have a little play around with that chest circle, chest diamonds. Play around with the slides and the lift and the drop. It's totally normal that one direction in that movement is going to feel, I'm kind of getting it. Ooh, feels nice and almost round. And then the other side, you do it and you're like, what is happening here? I can't even. That's totally normal. Totally normal. And I would recommend just practice a little bit extra on the side that doesn't feel so good. And eventually you might find that they start to even up a little bit. So that is your chest circle. So the other movement that I spoke about that we're going to try is an ommi. If you know what that is, whoa, you'll be with me in knowing that that is a delicious movement. It feels incredible. It's wonderful for your digestion. It's excellent pain relief. It is just so many things it's good for. And it looks impressive. It looks amazing. It is a tricky movement to do if you're new to it. It's a combined movement that we spoke about. We're going to use 2 movement patterns. First of all, coming into your basic stance that we know and love. Practice that always. From there, the movement is going to be healthy and it's going to flow. So in that basic stance, let me show you the first movement pattern we're going to be utilizing here, and it is this. It's the bend of your knee, one side to the other. Smooth, fluid movement. We're not emphasizing either the lift or the drop. It's nice and smooth. Now, the bigger the bend of your knee, the bigger the potential of that movement. So just keep that in mind as we go forwards. Okay? So this is the first movement pattern. And the second movement pattern that you're going to utilize is this one here. Is a tuck of tummy and a tilt. Tuck and tilt. So your hips, you're rocking them this way and this way. This way and this way. So as you bring the hips forwards like this, we can utilize all the muscles of pelvic floor, and we can utilize all the way up to low abs. So it's contracting and releasing. Contracting and releasing. Now, as you come into the tilt of the hips, be mindful not to hyperextend through your back. In that tilt, you can bring it just to around here. You don't have to reach your full range of motion. It's much healthier for you and your back if you don't reach full range of motion. So we're going to combine those two movement patterns. Whoa! Are you excited? I know I certainly am. So we're in here in that basic stance. Just make sure you're in there with that big bend through your knees. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do from here, I'm going to face this way. You can use the reflection, my reflection there, and also this view from the back of my body as well. So the first thing we're going to do is mark out a diamond shape like we did with the chest circle. We're going to drop through the hip on one side. Then what you're going to is tuck through your tummy. And as you tuck through your tummy, imagine a ribbon attached perhaps to your belly button, and it comes up and back like this. Yep. And then we're going to take this onto this side here, drop through a bend of the knee. And then you're going to bring it forwards to that diamond formation in the front as you tilt. We're going to drop, tuck, drawing the belly button up and back using pelvic floor muscles and low abs. We're going to bend to release, and then you're going to tilt. So we got those 4 points here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice what's happening with my knees there. Let's try again. Drop, tuck, drop, tilt, drop, tuck, drop, tilt. Okay, so that's the diamond formation. Now, let's move that on and extend out on the edges to make this a circular motion. Before I do that, I'm going to give you that second illustration that some people find really helpful. So this time, imagine this part down here is your hips. So the movement is not traveling like this. It's like this. So imagine if we popped a coin on the floor and it did that kind of all the way around like this. This is the movement we're doing. It's not this. It's like this. Okay, you're thinking I'm crazy right now? But you will see what I mean now when we go to actually make this a circular motion. Woohoo! Let's do it. You ready? Wow! Here we go, layering movements. We're going to drop through the hip, and then you're going to draw it back. Drop through the hip and bring it forwards. So you're extending out on the edges. Use your muscles, pelvic floor muscles, in at your abs as you tuck and release them as you come all the way around. It's here And it's in here. Wow. Yes. Nice. From the side, it looks like this. Notice what's happening with knees. If you feel that the bend of your knees has come out, maybe you find yourself up here. Ooh, can't really move very much with that. Sit down into it and give it another go. Wow. Yes. Yes, well done. We can bring our hands out to the side. Let me turn and show you from the front. It looks a bit like this. Good. A little bit faster, maybe. Woo! Whee! Yes! I know, thighs. Woo! I did say it was toning and strengthening movements. Absolutely toning and strengthening all of the muscles of not only your legs, but your hips, your back, like your whole body. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Shall we try? Just try. Take that the other direction. Okay. So we're here. So we just went around this way. Let's try take it the other way. So we're going to drop through the hip on this side. Then you're going to tuck, drop through the hip on that side, and tilt. Drop, tuck, drop, 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 tilt. Take it all the way around now. Make it smooth and fluid. Comes all the way around. All the way around. Nice. Wow. Lovely. Well done. A little bit faster maybe. Woohoo! Whee! Yes, you're going to find one side of the body feels, okay, almost got it there. And then the other side of the body is going to be like, what are you trying to do with me? Just go with it. Now what I want you to do is just completely let your mind wander. Just don't think, just move. Just move. Perhaps try the other direction, the first one. Perhaps change it, go back. Make it big and slow. Reverse it. Make it fast and small. Or fast and big. Try with now that chest circle that we did. Wow. How does that feel now? Take it the other way. Whee! Feels so good, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. Wow. And once you get going with this movement, and once you feel like, oh yeah, I've got that, you won't want to stop. You're going to be sitting in the car, just like dancing away, like, woo. You're going to be going around the shop, like, woohoo, and at the store, like, whoa. You think I'm joking? Whee! All right, thank you for joining me in this class. This has been ommis and chest circles. 2 combined movements, combination movements, very dynamic, fantastic movements for lots of different reasons. Super good fun. Nice to challenge yourself a little bit more now and introduce the idea of layering. Looking forward to sharing more with you in the next class. I'll see you then. I love you. Bye.